If there is any additional information or changes, your TA will inform you before the experiment begins.
In today's experiment, you will separate spinach leaf pigments using thin layer chromatography. Spinach leaves contain pigments like chlorophyll A and beta-carotene that can be separated from the leaves through an extraction process. First, spinach leaves are ground into a pulp. Then, a solvent mixture is added to dissolve the pigments. The different types of pigments in this extract can be separated by thin layer chromatography, otherwise known as TLC. TLC separates the different types of pigments on silica. Different pigments move at different rates as the solvent moves up the TLC plate. In this example, there are a number of pigments as shown by the different spots. A bottle of the spinach extract may be provided. Measure 2 milliliters of the extract, pour it into a 50 milliliter beaker, and set it aside. The sample will become more concentrated as you set up your TLC plates. A TLC plate is a strip of silica-coated plastic. Gently draw a line with a pencil 1 centimeter away from one end. At the center, draw a small dot to mark where to place the extract. Repeat this process to make the required amount of additional plates. Next, dip a pipette into the concentrated extract. A small amount of solution should be inside the tip. Hold the pipette and dab it carefully onto the dot. You may use your other hand to help keep steady. Do this 4 to 5 times, allowing the spot to dry between each application. Repeat for the other 3 plates. The original solvent used to dissolve the pigments may not be a good solvent to separate them from each other. For this reason, you will need to determine which solvent system will work best. Make the developing chambers. Label large test tubes to reflect each of the solvent systems and add 1 milliliter to each. The mixed solvent systems are not provided. You will need to make them with a graduated cylinder. Use forceps to place the TLC plates into the chambers with the extract spot towards the bottom. Cover the developing chambers with parafilm and place each one into a small beaker. Position them so that you can observe the front of the TLC plate. As the solvent climbs up the TLC plate, you will see the different colored pigments move up and separate as well. When the solvent is approximately 1 centimeter away from the top, remove the parafilm, take out the TLC plate with forceps, and place it on your bench top. Draw a line where the solvent stopped with pencil. We can describe the pigment spots on the TLC by what is called an RF value. This is a measurement of how far each pigment traveled up the plate. First, measure the distance the solvent traveled up the plate with a ruler. Then, measure the distance traveled for each pigment. Draw a dot on the center of each pigment, then measure the distance between this and the original spot. The RF value is calculated by dividing the distance traveled for each pigment by the distance traveled by the solvent. Draw each TLC plate and record the corresponding RF values in your notebook. In this video, you have learned about solvent systems and separation by thin layer chromatography.